Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday. I don't know why I'm so giddy. I mean, I was low-key kind of looking forward to the message today, but I just suddenly got super duper giddy. Yeah, today's Monday, September 23rd. And I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had some fun, had some rest, had a revelation or two, maybe a reunion of sorts. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel good. I'm not gonna lie. I feel good right now. Let's see what we got. Oh, snap. Oh, well, looky here, looky here. What's this under here? Just curious. The Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. So here's me feeling good. No. But here is the Death card, and I just saw the Nine of Cups peeking underneath. So I'm just curious of the feeling I get. As you can see, my cards are getting a little worn out. It's time for some new ones. The foil is starting to peel a little bit. The foil is starting to peel on the Nine of Cups. Foil is like preservation, like a coating, a layer. So, and with the Death card, that could be an ending. So maybe some facades are starting to be peeled back, where some are able to uphold. Yes, even wearing out here now that I'm noticing it. I don't know if you can see that, but here, this is where some of the film has already started to scratch off. You see it's pulling up here, it's pulling up here. It's like somebody's masks. Oh, and look what I uncovered. 9 and 9 at that. 2 completions. But it's the completion of this facade that everything's great, everything's good, I'm doing amazing. You know, somebody keeping up this persona of high self-esteem, you know, supremely secure and doing amazing, doing fantastic, so fulfilled, like nothing's going on here, nothing to see behind the curtain, you know, feeling quite pleased with themselves. But it's like, this is what, if this is the presentation, the public presentation, this is the secret reality. That when somebody wakes up in the morning, they don't wake up starting a day like this, feeling good about themselves and high self-esteem and looking forward to the day. And they also don't go to sleep like this, feeling pleased with what they accomplished or how they accomplished whatever they accomplished and what they've achieved, and even pleased to what they come home to. Yeah, this could even be someone that projects this idea of being like, you know, happy to be single, you know, or even single ready to mingle. But really at the core, they're lonely. They don't really like being alone. They're not quite pleased with themselves, meaning they don't feel comfortable being alone. There's something about it that induces fear and anxiety and paranoia, maybe even. Damn. Yeah, this literally could be someone that is experiencing, oh Lord, somebody getting haunted. Now I'm seeing a death card, and I know the implication of the Nine of Swords sometimes. Oh, somebody, oh man. Someone in their quiet moments, in their moments of solitude where it could be and should be restful, it's like torture. Like when somebody goes home at night, they are either haunted by the silence or actually haunted. Like, I know that sounds crazy. Maybe haunted by their past actions. Yeah, haunted by their choices, their decisions. And okay, got it. So we could either be dealing with like real paranormal paranormal activity, or paranoid activity, because someone is feeling like their past is catching up to them. Maybe the skeletons, literally. See this man here? Look at this. Yep. And this is dreams and illusions. I never really noticed that before, to be honest, that I never really took notice of what the face of that night, that dark night was, and it's a skeleton. I swear, I never really zeroed in on that before. That's crazy. On any card, in any deck I've ever had. Unless I did, but I just didn't really connect to it much. I don't know. But yeah, somebody could be having nightmares with the Seven of Cups. Somebody could be feeling, like I said, they're already haunted in a physical state of loneliness and anxiety, sleepless nights, literally, with the Nine of Swords. Could be, like I said, some paranormal activity, or at least it could even just literally be someone having some type of hallucinations, or, you know, like if it's not actual ghosts and spirits and stuff, it literally could just be somebody's mind kind of playing tricks on them, and or, like I said, their consciousness, or their conscience rather, tormenting them. And it really feels like somebody is afraid of the dark night of the soul creeping up on them. They're afraid of what it's going to take away from this energy. Now, it's all a facade right now, but once upon a time, there was at least some fabrication of contentment here with the Nine of Cups. And somebody is afraid that the impending dark night of the soul, of which maybe perhaps they know they don't have any, they have no way to resist at this point, is going to completely obliterate whatever is left of this reality here. Wow. All right, well, I'm gonna leave that there. They're afraid to change. They're afraid of change. That's what it is. They're afraid of change because it's ambiguous, it's obscure, it puts them out of their comfort zone. This is a more practical perspective of it. It takes them out of their comfort zone. It doesn't allow them to be complacent where they are. It's uncertain, and there is no guarantee of an end point or a final destination, God forbid. but there also is no control over there. It also gives me that there may not even be any control over. It's like somebody feels like something's coming, but the anxiety is not just about how it's going to play out, which the Nine of Swords usually is, that we're more worried about what's to come that hasn't even unfolded yet. Well, I guess it's still a matter of the same thing, but what I'm trying to say is that somebody's like anxious about when it's going to start. You know, like, is it now? Am I going through it now? Isn't like, maybe they're trying to keep their vibration up, you know, even in a synthetic sense, because like they're trying to brace themselves, I guess. This also could be for appearances, for sure, but it could definitely be somebody trying to almost like brace themselves for impact, because they know the change that's coming in is not going to be this. You know, it's like they're going to have to fabricate this as much as possible, maybe even just to manage what they anticipate the impact being from this inevitable change, which is kind of like weird. It's definitely to cause, oh snap, sorry, I didn't even mean to do that, but here's the King of Pentacles. So somebody's afraid of losing some type of stability or independence or assurance. Yeah. And their security, that's what they're afraid of, losing security. But it's kind of weird, because what they are, even with their best face and foot forward, if this is what it comes down to at the Nine of Swords, it's like somebody's trying to psych themselves out to already be in a state of like in a high vibrational state, so that they can almost like prepare themselves literally to brace for impact. So it's not like they're already low and then, you know, here comes the wave, or here comes the trials and tribulations. However they're seeing it to be, you know, they're kind of, even though they're thinking they're being preventative in this energy here, they're actually, I feel like they're projecting it ahead of themselves, maybe even ahead of time, or perhaps like exasperating it more than what it may be. You know, it's something illusional here with the Seven of Cups, though. There's some haze here. What's the difference between the 7 and the 9 is the 2. Which would be like a contract, agreement, a covenant. Yeah, like I said, it's them trying to kind of psych themselves into some, into like a settlement with, first of all, what they can't change, you know, what they also can't control, because it's coming, whatever it is, they know it's coming. They don't know how it's coming, though, and they also don't really know how they're going to emotionally or mentally, it seems, I guess physically too, with the King of Pentacles, but it seems more of a brace for impact in their emotional and mind field. Maybe even psychologically, how they're going to weather this change. And then, of course, what then will manifest of that with the King of Pentacles in a physical state, in a physical form. Oh, so that's what they're trying to protect as much as they can, like how they embrace this psychological change for the purposes of not inflicting any despair onto their material well-being. I mean, it's a hell of a plan. It is. I just feel like it feels a bit more hyperactive, you know, than it truly is productive. Like it's like somebody's trying to force themselves into it's weird. How can I explain this? Because I can sense it more than I have words for it. It's like somebody's trying to force themselves or psych themselves into a state of surrender that they're not actually submitted to. It's like they're not really in surrender. They're not really in submission to whatever change is impending, but they're trying to psych their mind and their emotions into it, like almost flood themselves with positive emotions and like optimism to perhaps like supplement what deficit they may actually be incurring here. And now here's the King of Wands. Yeah, this is the action that somebody's taken to kind of get ahead of the game, but it's like you can't get ahead of transformation. You submit to transformation. You accept. The best of the Two of Cups is forge an agreement with it for sure, but it still needs to be pure so that you don't cause yourself, like you don't hurt yourself in the process. It's like somebody's trying to be so, trying to outwit the process to some degree. I don't know. It feels like they're just psyching themselves out or psyching themselves into more mental and emotional imbalance than they may even have to endure on account of just accepting. You know, it's like, I don't know what that is. That's weird. That's really weird. I don't know. It's some type of psychosis, I think. That's what it feels like. Like, I'm okay. I'm all right. Everything's fine. I'm doing great. Nothing but good things. It's like somebody's trying to manifest. Oh, yeah, they're trying to hypercharge their manifestation, like their creative energy or their manifestation energy or something, so that maybe, I guess their mind state is that they may be able to repel negativity or an excess of it through keeping a very high frequency of energy. But the thing is, it's not really real. It's not real to the core. It's just like somebody drowning themselves in affirmations and confirmations and in assumptions, maybe even all through the day. Like, let's say that. So it could be somebody like really, you know, hyperactive and affirming themselves all day, but where you lay your head at night is chaotic. Like you don't either you don't want to be there, or you don't find peace there. Like I said, you're literally being haunted or disturbed, disrupted or something in what should be the most restful part of your day, the part of the day that allows you to be recharged and rejuvenated. Funny that I said that in the very beginning, right? There's no solace there. So if you're going home to chaos, and that is like the climate of the incubation of your restful state, when you awake, you're not going to awake refreshed. It's like somebody's literally on a Groundhog Day type of vibe, because you go to sleep in chaos, maybe wake up in chaos, and then you perhaps escape that environment and you're off into the day. This could be somebody, like, for instance, where they don't even want to come home at night, really, but of course, eventually they got to lay their head there, right? And by the time you lay your head down, what little sleep you get, if you can, you wake up unrested, feeling unwell, and it's like you're back to the bottom again, having to like climb your way to the top with your affirmations and your confirmations, and, you know, inundating with yourself with positivity to recharge the day, only to then be depleted by the end. First of all, just the sheer thought of looking forward to going back to a place that doesn't support that, you know, let alone infuse that, you know what I mean, or energize that frequency. It does the very opposite. And then you have to get up and do a day all over again where you pretty much start from ground zero. So it's like somebody is never able to really recoup and recover, let's say, their sanity. That's why I'm saying it's like some type of psychosis, because they're never able to sustain a moment of rest that is rejuvenating and regenerating. It's like they're working on a deficiency every single day. And really the only thing that is, that their like ritual, or what do you call it, like their routine of affirmations is doing is just really giving them enough energy to sustain the day and survive the day, to go back and well, I'll say sustain the day so that they can go back and survive the night. Imagine that, living a life like that, where you're only as good as long as you can stay away from home, which is supposed to be your sanctuary. Or it could work the other way, where it could be a job that could be sucking the life out of somebody too, and you feel an obligation to report there, you know, like out of necessity or survival. But it gives you no rest at night, especially knowing that you got to return back the next day. It's some cycle of psychosis or insanity that it seems like somebody could be stuck on the wheel of. And all along, it's like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe, perhaps because the passageway that would afford someone a transition to that light would call for a great transformation. And that's where this stuck energy, you know, this anxiety is feeling like an entrapment, because it's like somebody's trying to run away from change that is inevitable. But what they are maintaining, you know, and submitting themselves to is literally killing them day by day. My God. I'm sorry for whomever you are, but that is hell on earth. I would say take change. Take the change, as uncomfortable as it may be. There's got to be a greater, there got to be greater odds of surviving the change and the transformation or transition than there is to just submit to like being walking dead, being a zombie, pretty literally being a zombie, because you're not getting any sleep, you're not getting any rest, whether it's at night or in the day, wherever the case may be. Somebody is not able to regenerate their natural energy. They're running on fumes at this point. And on maybe even on autopilot. Wow. Somebody needs deliverance. That's exactly what I just heard. They need deliverance, and they need to nurture themselves on a deep soul level. It's like literally a call for surrender, a call for restoration, repentance, healing, self-love, maybe self-forgiveness. Yeah. I'm gonna just keep going. I'm gonna try to keep it sweet today. Let's see. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles, somebody is slow to make this investment on themselves, but there's really no other way. There's no other way. That somebody literally may need an actual cleanse, you know, like a spiritual cleanse, that might be the next point of investment in themselves, to pay, well, I'll say to this is a personal investment, but of course it's at cost for those that you can get this type of servicing from. But to make an offering is really what it ends up being. It's not really a payment so much, but when you can encounter someone that has the skill and the capacity, I guess, to help to purify your energy, or help you, at least set you on the proper path. You know, I'm talking about a spiritual practitioner, a seer, a prophetess. I mean, hell, even some readers can help give insight that could be life-changing if you know how to apply it for yourself, you know, to your circumstances properly. But in this case, I'm seeing a much deeper need at a soul level, that someone may need to find their way to some spiritual servant of sorts, that is trustworthy, that is tested in the spirit, you know, not just any old body that says they can do you something but ain't doing shit, but somebody that really can help to cleanse your auric field, or help you to see the points of release and repentance that will help you do that for yourself. But the path that somebody's on, this whole back and forth, yo-yo, in and out, every day is Groundhog Day, that's like death is on somebody's heels in that fashion. It's like the only option once I feel like that's the warning, the anxiety, the eagerness, because it's like that death card can either be change and transformation and the ending of certain cycles, or it could be the ending of you, because your physical vessel can no longer sustain the stress of that type of effect, you know, of your mental and spiritual inflictions. It can only take but so much, you know. So anyway, somebody needs some help. And I would say therapy, or even, this is like, could be like a pill, even like psychiatry, maybe some medical remedy. But honestly speaking, a lot of times that level of, not all of it, not everybody, but sometimes that energy is, that resource, I'll say, is tainted by the societal pillars that it is a part of, if you know what I mean. Like, it's more to keep you on a different type of a hamster wheel, to keep you like almost as a returning customer, than it is to really help you to be self-sufficient and to be grounded and sustainable, you know, and secure, is almost creating a new dependency. And some, I mean, hell, some spiritual workers are working that frequency as well. So I wouldn't suggest any old body, but the best ones are the ones that want to help you to get on your own spiritual feet, so you can see through your own spiritual eye, from the inside out and the outside in, exactly what's ailing you and how to treat yourself, heal yourself even. Those are the best spiritual servants, not the ones that just want to keep taking your money and wasting your time. So, let's see what we got. Let's keep it short today, because this is heavier than what I want to do. There are the magicians in practice. What else we got under here? Yeah. We're not talking about the magicians. We're talking about, you know, the ones with the smoke and mirrors, that the snake oil salesman that'll market a good gimmick to you and say, if you like that, come on back. I got something even better for you next time. And could even, like I said, in the psychiatric profession, keep you sedated, or even more out of your mind or out of touch with reality than you were when you were anxious about it all, or to just, I don't know, like kind of put you out of commission. Damn, man, be careful out here. I don't know what this is about, but coming up with the Magician card is not just feeling like rest and rejuvenation. It feels like, oh, this is what someone's are needing to recover from. The antithesis of the servant of the light, you know, or light workers. This is someone becoming or having become a casualty of some dark energy work. And that's the hamster wheel that they can't get off. I mean, I was sensing that, but I was trying to keep it practical, because it can be any of it and all of it at the same time. But that's what it's giving me. That, and look, here's somebody with the Four of Swords, like he is literally hands folded in his sleep with the Three of Swords over his head. Like somebody is in danger wherever they are. There's a great threat to their wellness one way or another. And it may not, it could even be that, it could, because I said somebody could be lonely, it could even just be whatever that place is, it's triggering. Maybe there is energy, some residue of energy that's there lingering, that's not in agreement with someone else's well-being. But whatever it is, it's still a very inside-out projection no matter what. Yes, surroundings and circumstances can definitely have an effect, but why? Why is that? And that's always the key when you're really doing some deep spiritual work. And like what do you call it, like diagnosis, you know, when you need to figure out why are you having this imbalance? Why are you unable to sleep at night? What is it that you're thinking about that keeps you from resting? Or what are the circumstances or surroundings that are not peaceful? You know, all of that, because this is not rest in a natural state. This to me is given like concocting some fabricated means to rest, because you kind of have to get some sleep, or you have to close your eyes again in order to survive, for your body to have any chance of recharging. This could be somebody like literally taking pills or taking like some type of like sleep agent or something like that, or drugs or whatever. It's like something here that's inducing this state of rest that, again, it's not pure, it's not organic, and therefore, and if that's the case, it works the same as what I'm saying. Like if you're having to do that to like almost knock yourself out for the count, that still doesn't put you in an organic state of rest where your body has time, and your mind, your spirit, everything has time to regenerate for another day. You could be waking up groggy or cranky or, you know, disoriented, or whatever the case may be. It's not, it's illusional, it's illusionary or whatever. This ain't it. This ain't it for somebody. They got to get to the root. Yeah, and they keep looking outside of themselves for a remedy and escape. Could be escapism, but it's temporary. Whatever it is, whatever they connect to, if it ever comes. And you know what I'm also getting is that the ways in which someone has been used to sedating themselves or soothing themselves may not be working the way that they were before. They may not be as effective. And that's the body rejecting what's not good for it, you know, and also the spirit alerting the mind space, the mind field, that there's something deeper to attend to, that it can't just be on the surface level anymore, you know, psyching yourself out. And that's what the psyching out is, okay? So somebody literally could be dependent on some type of substances or, well, alcohol, drugs, sedatives, even prescriptions, whatever it is. That's why I was saying, like, somebody's putting themselves in some type of psychosis, or even if that's the case, just to get any rest at all, there's something that could come of that, from that dependency, that could be fatal, that somebody needs to figure out how to purge this dependency from their auric field and get to the root of what their soul really needs, and start to have a greater expectation for that on the long term being the cure, as opposed to these like immediate measures of satisfaction or gratification. Yeah, look at this. Spiritual gel, 8 of Swords. It's like a mental cell. And so that was a 4 of Swords into the 8, which then still is another 4 of Swords. Yeah, so whatever somebody is doing, it's like canceling out. Whatever someone does to apprehend rest is still canceling out their productivity when they're actually awake. It's like one it's a word that I can't hear. I hear it, but I can't I don't know how to explain it. But like their one method to their madness, so to speak, is canceling out. Like, so it's like somebody's trying to get rest so they can be better in the day. But what they're doing to get rest, or to take their mind off of things or whatever, is actually spoiling the day, because they're no good for the day. Like I was saying, like somebody's always starting back at 0 with each new 24 hours. You know, they're no better than they were the day before, because they're on this cycle where they can't sleep without something. They can't do the day without something. So somebody could just be dependent all around at this point in time, like always needing something to stay functional. But there feels like more of an emphasis on the night and the time, you know, like when the day winds down and all you have is you and your thoughts, you know, like, and someone doesn't have the distractions of the day to hold their attention. You know, it's something about that here that they're no good by themselves or in the environment that they're in when there aren't multiple other distractions to take their mind off of the environment that they retire to. It's like a bleak future outlook at this point for someone. That perhaps they used to be able to maybe even delude themselves to believe was something different than what it was, or was like a necessary means to an end for something more promising in the future. Like if I just go through this now, or if I just, you know, grit my teeth and bear this now, or hang in there now, I'll have more options or a better future to look forward to. It's like somebody just keeps sentencing themselves to captivity. I don't know, like, they become the runner chaser in their own reality. What does that mean? It's like they're chasing after this ideal of themselves that would be most desirable, but they're also running from it and escaping from it as well, perhaps because the means and methods by which they're trying to achieve that ideal are self-destructive. But someone is kind of like deluding themselves to believe that if they just stay the course, they'll reach the destination without having to actually, you know, take the proper path, which again would be transformation. It's like somebody's trying to get to a realization of identity, like in a backdoor type of way, but not actually trying to do the work or go through the motions that would refine that reality, you know, or like something like that. It's weird. Like, is somebody nuts? They probably are, and that's probably why I'm saying like somebody needs deliverance, because they're living, it's like somebody is living in some type of possessed reality. Or possessed, like their reality is possessed by some other diabolical influence or distorted influence. Maybe it's the substance itself. I don't know, but my God, it could be. It could be that. Did I say something? No. These both came up in the reverse. The Fool and like somebody is going nowhere fast The Fool and the Eight of Wands in reverse. I don't even know if I've ever seen such a thing. Definitely not. Yeah, with the Ace of Cups here and the Knight of Swords, like but they think they're going somewhere though. That's the thing. Like this is the fury and the ambition, that the drive that someone has to get somewhere. But get into it, the direction that they're going by way of how I pulled this card out is away from what's real. The realest thing on this board, quite honestly, so far, is like the direction that somebody's heading in is far, far away from love, from peace, from deliverance, from groundedness, from true fulfillment, real fulfillment from the inside out. What's this? Yeah, the Chariot here. Yeah. It's like they want to move forward so bad. They want a new beginning so bad. They want a fresh start. They want they're like insistent to manifest their way out of their present circumstances by any means necessary except transformation. It's like somebody's willing to do anything except for that dreaded invitation to change their ways and do something different. And maybe that's also the hint of insanity that I'm feeling, is somebody is willing to do the same thing over and over again with poor results. Like I said, going nowhere fast. Literally, the Fool card in reverse is no fresh start, no new beginning. Again, reoccurring cycles that don't yield anything favorable or even functional, I would say, at this point in time, let alone forwarding. You know, it's literally being stuck in one place and refusing to do anything different, refusing to take a leap of faith, refusing to see anything in a different way than you have before, probably even almost a little bit afraid to step out of your comfort zone, feeling very insecure and unstable, unsupported, you know, like perhaps even feeling a fear of being attacked or a fear of some type of threat if you do step out of your comfort zone. That's what this energy is here. But it's like well, you know, shit. The Eight of Wands, even in reverse, actually is pointed in this direction. But it's like somebody's putting their own selves in the line of fire because of what they refuse to surrender to, which in this case is just unconditional love, like literally divine love. All what I was saying before, like someone may even kind of know that they need to go get some spiritual work. They need to get some spiritual counseling. Hell, maybe even just start with a good therapist that you can trust and expand from that resource on. But this is somebody that knows. I don't know, maybe they don't know. But I feel like given we started with that Nine of Cups, where somebody is conscious enough to know how to put on a happy face, you know, for the public. As they say, crazy people don't know they're crazy, right? So this is someone that knows enough to hide their blemishes for those that they want to conceal it from. So I would have to think that they must know at least where to start to get some true help, but they just don't want to surrender to that. It feels too painful for someone to either admit that they need some help or they need support of a psychological or spiritual nature, or they just are insistent that they can handle it themselves. Like they can pull themselves out of this funk or this distress by the bootstraps, or even like somebody even feels like they can magically manifest like some portal of sorts out of the reality of their existence, when at this point it is a delusion, because they're only plunging themselves deeper into a rabbit hole. It could even be someone that like really needs some support for like substance dependency, and they also just may not be ready to kick the habit. You know, there's that too, that they feel more comforted by their dependency than they would. That could be it in a great sense as well. Because even with that death card on somebody's heels, it's like you doing something that you know is killing you, but you also don't want to release it or relinquish it either, because of somebody kind of being afraid of all the feeling at all, you know, not being able to numb themselves to what they feel at the core. And that 9 of Cups, which could be, again, that public persona, maybe even the party animal or the good time guy or gal that's like, yeah, everything's good, you know, life of the party. But the minute you can't have that drink or that pill or that blunt or whatever substance that is of choice, you're a mess, you know? Like somebody's afraid of the withdrawal. That's what they're afraid of. Whatever it is that is in need of healing, they're afraid of that withdrawal. Yes, that's what they're afraid of how that withdrawal is going to feel, not having a thing that at least fabricates some sense of sensibility for them. What happens once that's taken away? They don't have it. There's no, you know, nothing to look forward to get it again. Then you really have to start dealing with reality as it is, sober, without any distractions or synthetic sensationalism, you know, all of that. But it's like somebody is right now, like they're in the line of fire with the habits that they are reluctant to release. Like all this 8 of Wands is going right into this Fool, and somebody's just stagnant still, like they're not going anywhere. If they were in motion to evolve or try something new, they would miss these arrows. But this is like 8 flaming arrows that are headed straight towards somebody, and they may even be too numb to react and respond. One more and I'm out. And here's the police. Wow. So this could even be somebody maybe doing something because they're out of sorts psychologically, or you know, they're kind of like out of their right mind, and it puts them in the crosshairs of law enforcement. But you already know it's a toss-up, especially if there's a threat to whomever the officer in service or in duty is. So this could be like somebody like having an episode or something, because maybe they took something bad and they're acting out in public, or, you know, on a rampage, or they do, like, you know, just like out of character, out of sorts, out of mind. And it's alarming enough to have the police have to encounter it or to, be called to the scene. We know there's much less tolerance for threatening characters, no matter what the constitution of the character itself, himself or herself. Like, shoot first, ask questions later type of energy. Like, you don't know what the hell. People with medical or mental issues don't often get handled with white gloves when it comes to law enforcement, because they feel their lives are on the line, and sometimes they are. Like, I've been seeing actually a lot of videos of just people randomly in the streets attacking innocent people, minding their business. One older lady walking her dog outside her own building in New York, just standing around, and this guy walks up and punches her in the head so hard that she, from behind at that she falls, hits her nose on the ledge, breaks her nose, and like her whole face was black and blue. Older lady, so they bruise easily. And I've been seeing a couple of cases like that, just random attacks in the street from people that are just out of their mind or are now possessed by a different entity, and usually on account of either some type of substance incapacitation or just mental imbalance, or maybe a little bit of both, whatever it is. But what I'm saying is that could be what this is given here. And like I said, this could be somebody that is in alignment for a tragic ending simply on account of what they are resistant to surrender to. Like, they're going to surrender to something, but I hope it's not the boys in blue on a bad day with someone that doesn't have the patience and the tolerance to, weather a threatening character with grace. That's what I'm sensing here. And this, I don't know why this is weird. Like, I don't know. But somebody needs to take the chance on the take a chance on deliverance and repentance. And it doesn't even mean necessarily in a religious sense where they gotta go, throw themselves at the nearest altar, at the nearest church altar. But it's somebody that just needs to take their spiritual wellness seriously and figure out how to best treat that before it's too late. Because the 3D world don't have too much grace for emotional, mental, and sometimes physical imbalances. It just doesn't. But the divine does have all the grace and patience in the world for those that are willing to submit to that service. And find yourself a trustworthy representative of that shield to help you, see your way out. Yeah, the Four of Pentacles, this is somebody holding on to something. And then the Six of Wands. There's an opportunity for success and advance, moving ahead here. If somebody can just kind of release what they're holding on to. And this is even more so like appearances and facades, maybe even secrets, pride, ego, material, could be substances itself, a substance itself that somebody's holding on, feeling like they can't be stable without it. Could even be substances in the form of people, places, ideals, thought patterns, you know, whatever that would ultimately almost take possession of the man itself is what gets to be purged in order for there to be success, you know, moving forward. Relief, real relief. Like this is someone that, this image gives me someone that has overcome their addictions, their dependencies. Like they have a testimony to share on account of their journey, you know, something that adds value to what others may be experiencing, you know, to add some value of inspiration, hope, faith, you know. But you can't be this still holding on to this, you know. And here it is, like I was saying, it's like somebody, when I was saying it's like somebody's in a runner chaser, like they're chasing this ideal of themselves. That persona that they project is what they really want to be, but there's the extra stuff that needs to be released in order to actually have that public persona, which is the Six of Wands. It's saying that it's possible, it's attainable, but not without the process of transformation and letting go of those things that are just more or less like placeholders, and that may even give a false sense of security to supplement self-esteem. This is something to really be proud of. Really to, you know, have a foundation of security and high esteem for yourself that is projective outside of yourself, but certainly based internally first. And I feel like that's the void. That's why I was saying like the facade was chipping away from the Nine of Cups in the beginning, because it's like, it's not what somebody really feels about themselves. It's just what they want others to see, or even what they want others to believe of themselves from the image that they project. But at the core of it all, someone either has or does feel they don't feel of high value. Not if you holding tight, you know, for dear life to the Four of Pentacles. Like that's all you got. That's all you have to offer and all you have to look forward to. So it's a matter of diagnosis from the core and from the root of what has caused this infraction to someone's self-esteem and their personal security, and treating that from there, that infliction from that point, and recovering all that's been lost or even deferred and surrendered on account of that disease, you know, but not still holding on to it. To it and all of the what do you call it, the symptoms, you know what I mean? But anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna leave this one here. It was a little bit deep. Maybe you know somebody, and maybe you are a practitioner that can offer such support. I would say be cautious, be discerning in the deepest sense of the word and from the highest perspective that you can perceive, because just because you have the resources, the capacity, and even the heart and willingness to help and heal doesn't always mean that you should, and or doesn't always mean that whomever you identify or that identifies you for that point of exchange is actually ready to receive that healing. If this is someone that hasn't quite accepted their their present state of being. And if there is no acceptance for that, first and foremost, is really not much that you could do to change a person's state of mind and being, or to even successfully direct them to their own proper perspective. It's a real, like, everybody ain't built for spiritual work, and even those that have the capacity, sometimes, you know, you still have to be extremely selective with who you lay hands on, so to speak, if you feel me. If you know, you know. Because you could spend all your energy investing in someone that may proclaim to want to change or want the help, and it be a complete waste of time and energy for both of you to some extent. So I could never be the one to say what that standard may be, or, you know, what would be like the determining factors of that decision-making process, because that's a very individual and personal thing. But I guess generally speaking, especially with the high priestess being at the top of the spread, be mindful that a lot of people are going to be grabbing for straws and reaching out for help and healing that they really don't have the capacity to receive. Not yet. There's some self-healing and some self-awareness. Well, self-awareness for self-healing that needs to be affirmed first before there could really be much external support that would be sustainable for the long run. So, you know, if you okay with just, you know, like, giving it all you got, no matter what, no matter how many times it takes, or, you know, like some people, that's their ministry, you know, or else we wouldn't have like rehab centers and things like that where, you know, it may be a revolving door, so to speak, but people are still there to welcome you with open arms every time. So I guess, like I said, so for some people that may be your ministry, to always be open and available. But I feel like the intensity of affliction is great and growing, and the void between wellness and unwellness is vast. So you could have all the heart in the world for those, for the hurting, you know what I mean, and all of the heart to be a healer, and still either not make the impact that you know you have the intention to on account of the receiver, and or perhaps, worst case scenario, put yourself in harm's way to you know, kind of be a casualty of someone's imbalance. And neither one is ideal, quite honestly. So, you know, just, I would say, the most ideal is to lend your support and service to those that at least see fit to help themselves first, in whatever way you observe that to be. If it were me, I would have to see some evidence of self-awareness and accountability. Accountability is probably the biggest thing. So the accountability probably even more than necessarily the capacity to really heal yourself, but the awareness and the accountability would have to be paramount for me. Like full transparency, no holds barred, no illusions, no delusions. Like if somebody is, you know, I don't know, because I guess there's a market for those that are completely saturated by possession at this point too. But that's real dangerous work that everybody is not built for. Like it can get really tricky icky with that. So for me personally, I think the safest bet is for there to be some evident self-awareness and accountability assumed before you can add value or be of service, and then closely monitor how your recommendations and your remedies or your support is being applied, not just absorbed, you know, as a recharge to do what you've been doing, but like applied for progressive change and real transformation, you know, like literally proven results with what you're offering. And, you know, that's real selective, and it may even seem a bit callous to some, particularly who may revere, you know, spiritual practice as almost like a benevolent, selfless profession. But I'm just saying, in this day and age, it's way too dangerous to be a martyr for someone else's comfort. There's, even as a healer yourself, there's still enough work to be done, or to even maintain and sustain in a realm as we live in that is still invaluable enough, and believe it or not, still effective enough for you to almost be a generator of that healing, you know, to hold space for it in your own embodiment before you go depleting yourself for someone else's sake. You know, we don't need to be hoisting up no crosses at this time. Like, get up off the cross. You have already ascended if you are even up for the challenge or considering being of value in that way. And just your sheer presence alone can be more impactful than, you know, than you not being here at all. And certainly not having the heart and the mind and the spirit clear as it is to hold space for hope for those to, you know, ultimately heal themselves or find their way to the proper resource, and most importantly, to the source that is in no danger and no threat whatsoever. You can always point someone that way, if you know what I mean. But anyway, yeah, this was kind of heavy, but I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.